everybody, we are back, and we are back real strong today with a dear friend of mine, Miss Sonya Fernandez of Elite Business Tax Consultants. And Sonya is with us today with all of her infamous wisdom, talking to us about tax credit. I'm sorry, business credit. Now, we know that, we've thought of those ideas. I need to get a new printer, or I need to establish some credit. How do I do that? Isn't it actually worth doing? With all the years that Sonia has been in the industry and been working on some, high level financial accounts, she's here with us today to share some of those tips, those rules, the things that we need to be thinking about as it relates to business credit. So I welcome you, Miss Sonia.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It is our absolute pleasure, and you are looking stunning as always.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. So, Sonia, I'm not going to hold up too much time because I know that our guests are absolutely here, just eager to learn and understand more about, what does business credit actually mean? Should I even get credit? Is it really necessary? As small business owners, we have to go into this arena of entrepreneurship thinking ahead, not just thinking about today. So I'm excited to hear your information also. So I'm going to turn it over to you. So tell us about business credit.
Well, guys, I am here to tell you that business credit is an absolute necessary evil. It will save your life, it will save your personal finances, and it will save your business. I think a lot of us go into business using our personal credit, unbeknownst to most of us, that it could be significantly easier. It can be a much easier transition by establishing business credit from the start, and therefore you won't have to tap into those personal resources and savings, which is why you started business to begin with, was to earn money so that your personal life, you could live an affluent personal life. So business credit, essentially, what is business credit? A lot of people say, what is that? So what business credit is it's actually credit established with no personal guarantees, meaning your personal credit is not a factor in whether or not you are approved or denied for a loan. You would have to get an EIN, which is issued by the IRS. You can go to irs.gov to do that. And once you have that number, it's almost instantaneous that you get the number. Literally, you can call and do the application by phone. They'll give you the number while you're on the phone before you hang up with that operator. There are several things that you have to have in place prior to getting that EIN and filling out that application, but essentially the EIN is your business social security number. Once you have an EIN, then you would contact Dun & Bradstreet. And who is Dun & Bradstreet? Dun & Bradstreet is basically the governing body over business credit. So they create Paydex, and Paydex is business credit's FICO. So that is your score for your business credit profile. You also have the reporting agencies, just like with personal credit, and those reporting agencies are Equifax Business and Experian Business. So we can get into that later, but most important is to establish your business credit solely by itself so that your personal credit is not affected. So that's essentially what it is, and I think no one realizes everything that goes into owning a business until about I'd say the first 3 weeks in. Once you're in for that first 3 weeks, you start to realize, wow, the monies that I saved up aren't going to be enough for what I need done. So it's a great idea to have a business credit card for office supplies, and those are your 30-day net accounts. Your Paydex score, which I mentioned, is governed by Dun & Bradstreet. That score ranges from 1 to 100. Perfect or great Paydex score is 80 or above. So you want to stay in that range. You like to start off with your office products or your office supply companies. Those are normally the easiest accounts to obtain initially. And once you have that, then we go to tier 2 products. And tier 2 products would be your store accounts, like your your actually people have Tiffany, yes, Tiffany jewelry business accounts. And why would you have a Tiffany jewelry business account? Well, if you purchase items for gifts for your clients, you could use your personal Tiffany business account to do that instead of going and purchasing with your personal money to buy a gift for a business partner or a business colleague. The other thing you want to do, Costco. You can get a ton of supplies from Costco for especially for a home healthcare business. You can get your bedspreads from there. You can get your, cleaning supplies from there, everything. If you have a company car, you would be able to purchase company vehicles, including the transportation. If you have like a van, a transportation van, or if you're picking up in cars or have outings for your guests or your live-in residents, you could actually purchase a vehicle or a fleet of vehicles for your company by using only business credit, and it would go under a fleet. And a couple of companies that offer that right now are Ford. You can go to Ford. They have a great fleet program for new business owners. So, but it's definitely a smart thing to do. You want to be established in the proper way initially, or else it can all come crumbling down and it goes nowhere fast.
Well, I thank you so very much for that just very brief introduction. And, like you said, there's multiple different ways of looking at it in terms of, what are you going to be using that credit for? And the simple things, like you said, in terms of, getting office equipment, whether it's a printer, computers and such like, they're all very necessary things. One of the things I do teach to our members and I try to encourage is that before you do step out, get that financial plan done, do that budget, think ahead. What is your take on financial budgeting and financial preparation?
It's an absolute necessary evil. And I say evil because people think numbers and they run away. And what you want to do is you absolutely want to have a financial map, if you will. That's what it is. Essentially, it's your map to business, how you're going to run your business, and you want to stay in those lines. As long as you stay in the lines, then you're out of the red. So if you can stay in the black, you're going to be successful. We all experience some red in our lives when we're first starting out. But if you have your financial map, you'll be able to manipulate your way or navigate your way through the process of it all.
So are there companies that, and you mentioned a couple, like Costco's and so forth, but is there like a directory of, known companies to establish credit? Or is it really just a case of, going to a store and asking for credit and seeing if you get approved? And how do I begin that journey?
Well, that's a very good question. There are some companies out there like Dun & Bradstreet, who I mentioned. They offer an introductory business builder program. It's about $300, and it's a good program, and some people sign up for it. But it's $300 you can save, and let me explain why. Because your profile is going to be created from the moment you receive your card, you start using, and you're billed. Once you receive that first billing, it's automatically going to generate your credit profile. Your Paydex score is born. So you don't have to pay somebody to do what's going to happen anyway.
Correct. And is that something that you would suggest, our owners do, is to pay somebody, or do they work on their credit their own? I know that's obviously something that you do under your umbrella, Sonya, is, assisting individuals in getting themselves, prepared for credit. Is that something you do also for business?
It is, actually. My company offers that service, and what we do, sorry, my lighting.
That's okay.
So it is something that we offer, and it's like what we offer is kind of like an incubator program, and it's for that small business owner. It's more of a consulting is what we do. And the reason we do it is because we see the companies like Dun & Bradstreet. We see the companies. There's another company called NAB. out there. And NAB is a great program, and they essentially do kind of what we're doing, but because there's such a big company, there's no hand holding.
Right.
And I think if you have the right consultant working with you to kind of, again, navigate the waters for you and teach you.
Right.
So my favorite saying, as you know, is give a man a fish, he'll fish for one night.
Absolutely.
Yeah, teach a man
You
a
said
fish.
that the other day.
Yes, he's going to have culinary genius, meals for you throughout the rest of his life. So,
Right.
So what I say is, we do a lot of teaching. There's if you guys have seen me, I know you've seen my page, but shameless plug here. But what I do is I like to teach business owners inside information. And I say inside because a lot of businesses know, but a lot of businesses don't share. And I think it's really sad to see someone dipping into their savings to kind of, if, the AC broke and they don't have a business account, they can apply for a business account with a AC unit company. And so they have to use their personal MasterCard or Visa or their personal savings because the company doesn't take credit cards. So it really is a lifesaver. It's a blanket, so to speak. It's a security blanket, and I think every business should have it.
And I think that's absolutely why you're here, Sonya. And we do want to ensure that we're giving an ongoing education to our business owners on not just business credit, but all the other things that come with that financial aspect of operating a business. So these discussions and these sessions, we're obviously planning and hoping to continue. So that everybody can get educated on how best to maneuver and how best to, like you said, navigate through those muddy waters at time. So one of the guests on the call had just said, one of the companies that do provide credit is Uline, and we know Uline. Everyone sees those big thick books that come through the mail, and you think, oh my God, how did this even get in my mailbox? They're one of those companies that also offer the credit.
Yes.
And the ability to build.
And those are the companies. You said a key word, it's build. And so when you first start out, you're building your credit profile. So you want to get your Paydex score up to at least an 80. So what I like to tell my guys, and when I say my guys, it's my clients, what I like to tell them is, let's start small. No matter how much you need or how much you want, start small. Let's keep it at $100 or less, and let's pay the balance in full when you receive it. And when you receive the bill, before the bill is actually due or the payment is due, you want to submit that payment prior to that date. And then you want to do it 3 months in a row. So you're going to go back in and you're going to purchase something for under $100, and you're going to pay it off before the payment is actually due. You're going to pay it in full, the balance in full. So you're at an 80. Now what happens? So now we can qualify for the bank business credit card. So a lot of times, the bank business credit cards start off at around in the neighborhood of $6,500 and up. So so $6,500 and up. It can go anywhere up to in excess $35,000. So you're building. So maybe our initial card is going to be $10,000. We're not going to spend $10,000, guys. We're going to keep it under 28% usage. So 28% of the available balance is all we're using, and we're paying it back as much as possible. That's going to build our Paydex score and get us almost at the 100 or right at the 100. And then, for me, what I tell people is I am a firm believer, and I'm sure some of your members are familiar with Dave Ramsey. So I love Dave Ramsey, but Dave Ramsey does not like credit. And I'm fortunate he hates it. He doesn't like debt. Let me say that. He doesn't like debt. Some debt
we all have it.
Yes, some debt is good debt, and business debt is excellent debt. But essentially, once you get those bank business credit cards, you can go on to apply for bank lines of credit. So a bank line of credit could start out at that $35,000 that we spoke about on the card. So a bank line of credit could be $60,000, $120,000, $300,000. What if you want to purchase a new building for your assisted living facility? What if you want to rebuild what you're already in? Let's say there's some updates that need to happen. That business line of credit comes into play, and your personal finances are untouched
And untouched.
and growing.
That
Right.
is absolutely excellent. I'm even excited about it. Like, okay, well, let's just go get some just for the sake of getting some credit, right?
Yes.
But it's excellent information. And again, it really just, sets a foundation for us to continue the series on business credit and how to best manipulate the systems, because that's really, in essence, what it is, for our own betterment. As you mentioned, getting that credit and just having it there as a cushion. And we had a discussion online with some of the members with regards to covering payroll and so forth, etc., and continuing their marketing efforts, and just having that little bit of a line of credit is going to be the difference between make or break. So again, I so thank you for this information, but please want to make sure that you guys you're going to come back with us.
Absolutely.
And continue this series, continue educating our members. This is just the beginning, and I'm hoping that everybody enjoyed you as much as I did. But give us one of your final remarks, Sonya, in terms of just preparing our owners in coming into this big wide world, because it can be a little bit intimidating. But what would be your final words and leaving us today?
My final word is establish your foundation properly. So as long as the business entity is set up properly from the start, the banks will like you. The banks will actually love you. There are certain industries that they shy away from, like real estate investments or real estate development or tax and accounting. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to be so you have to be very careful as to what type of industry, when you're forming your LLC. You want to form an LLC that essentially is going to be very general in nature, and that way the bank can't just automatically decline you based on what type of business you have.
Right.
So establish your foundation. You can do your doing business or your fictitious name registration as anything you want. But your actual business, like Fernandez Enterprise, maybe instead of Elite Biz Tax Consultant. So tax was a factor when I went into the bank. So try and just generalize
it.
That's correct. Your main name when you're setting up your business, and you'll go far.
Perfect. I so appreciate you, my darling. We're probably going to be connecting in a little while after this segment. But again, please hold that space for us that you can share and continue to educate us. Want to have you back. We want to continue the series of education and resources. I thank you again, and we will be in touch. I'm hoping everybody heard what they needed to hear as a starting point. We'll all send our thank yous and our loves to Miss Sonya. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for having me, love.
You are welcome, love. Thank you.